Good morning, Western Washington, and happy Monday. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather, and today we're going to take a look at the forecast for the next few days, including the interesting swings in our weather that we are expecting. So starting here with the mid-level water vapor satellite loop, you can see some clouds moving southward over western Washington today, and you can actually see some of these lenticular clouds and mountain wave clouds over parts of south central Washington there. I got some cool time-lapse of those yesterday. That's why there was no video yesterday. I'll show you a picture of that in a moment. And you can see our ridge here offshore with the absence of clouds there. That's going to bring some really nice conditions over the next couple of days. So let's take a look here. You can also see on the radar this morning as we let this play through here. Let's see, you can see there's some areas of drizzle across the lowlands that should continue at times throughout the day, so maybe some drizzle for some of the area, but shouldn't be too much in the way of rainfall with that. These are those lenticular clouds I was talking about yesterday. This picture is from Tacoma, and you can see just a beautiful lenticular on top of Mount Rainier and just to the north. So I will link my time lapse at the end of this video, so go over and watch that. So now let's take a look at our overall pattern. You can see here this ridge offshore today. That is moving in now. It's moving pretty quickly to the east, but it's going to bring us some nice temperatures over the next couple of days, especially tomorrow. So as you can see tomorrow, the ridge is already moving off to the east pretty far, but we're going to have some nice warm temperatures across the Pacific Northwest, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. But the more interesting thing is this very quick shift we have as the ridge moves off late tomorrow. You can see this troughing moves in and is going to bring a frontal system to the area that will cool us down and bring some region-wide rain and some potentially breezy conditions. So you can see through Wednesday that troughing persists, and then through Thursday another system moves into central British Columbia there north of Vancouver Island, but it's unsure at this time how much of that is going to impact western Washington. And then as we go toward the end of this week, you can see we get a little bit more ridging, and we will probably dry out toward the end of the week. So stay tuned for more information on that in the next couple of days. So now let's take a look at that precipitation. You can see today the European model is picking up some of that drizzle across the area, but that ends this evening. You can see systems going into British Columbia there, and we stay dry all the way through Tuesday. And then as we go into early Wednesday, you can see that frontal system moving through impacts the area from Wednesday morning through the evening, potential convergence zone there Wednesday night. And then you can see that next system, a pretty nice low for this time of year, moving into Haida Gwaii and central British Columbia there north of Vancouver Island. And some of that precipitation is pretty heavy on Vancouver Island and clips part of Washington as well. So we will get another round of rainfall late Thursday, but it's to be determined right now how much rain falls with that, and showers with that could persist through Friday before we start to dry out into the weekend. So let's take a look at those temperatures. We're going to have some interesting temperature swings over the next couple of days. So starting here with here's the temperatures today, and you can see from Seattle northward highs in the mid 60s to low 70s, and then from Seattle southward highs in the low to mid 70s. We may stay a little bit cooler than this if we have more cloud cover than expected, and then on the coast highs in the mid to upper 60s. But take a look at tomorrow. It's going to be mostly sunny across the entire area, from Seattle northward highs in the low to mid 70s, from Seattle southward highs in the upper 70s to low 80s near the foothills there, and from Olympia southward highs in the low to mid 80s. We'll take a look at the southwest Washington and Portland area in a second, and highs on the coast in the upper 60s to low 70s on Tuesday. So just a really nice day for late September here. And you can see, though, that huge shift on Wednesday. Temperatures drop 10 or more degrees for most of the area, with highs down on Wednesday all the way to the mid-60s for the entirety of western Washington, and the low 60s, maybe even some upper 50s there on the coast. We start to warm up a little bit on Thursday as that system moves out, and our Thursday system starts to move in. Highs still, though, only in the mid-60s from Seattle northward and the upper 60s Seattle south. And then on Friday, you can see with that system moving through, we still remain cool, highs in the low to mid-60s across the entire area. Now let's take a look at southwest Washington and Portland. So you can see today from Chehalis southward highs there in the mid to upper 70s, likely around 80 for Portland, but take a look at tomorrow. This is just extraordinary for late September here. You can see highs in Chehalis there in the mid 80s, upper 80s from Kelso southward, and likely in the upper 80s to low 90s for Clark County and the Portland metro area. But then take a look at that shift, drop almost 20 degrees and actually over 20 degrees possibly for some of the Portland area there from Tuesday to Wednesday. Highs drop from the low 90s to the upper 60s, so that's just going to be a huge drop on Wednesday, and you'll definitely notice that, and we'll talk about that in detail a little bit more tomorrow as well. So now let's take a look at that precipitation potential here. You can see this is the European model looking at total precipitation. It is picking up some of this drizzle across the area today, and you can see, but not that much in the way of measurable rain with that, except maybe in Whatcom and Skagit counties. But as we go through Tuesday, you can see here, as we get to about Tuesday evening, that rain starts to impact the area. And then as we go into Wednesday, that frontal system does move in by mid-morning, and now into the afternoon you can see that rain spread across the area. We are going to have a bit of a rain shadow going across the Seattle to Tacoma area, so Seattle and Tacoma and Olympia will get the least rain out of everybody in this system here, only about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. But then look from Everett northward toward the Canadian border, a 1/2 inch to an inch, depending on where you are and depending on where some of that convergence zone sets up there, you can see as well. And then on the coast, about 0.4 inches to 1 inch. So this will be a nice round of rainfall outside of the Seattle metro, or outside of the King and Pierce counties there really, and possibly Thurston County. So stay tuned for more on this rainfall. We'll take a look at that tomorrow as well. And briefly taking a look here at the wind, you can see as that frontal system moves through, the entire area will gust probably 20 to 30 miles an hour, clear out the air a little bit, and then some areas around Whidbey Island and the San Juans could gust 30 to 35 miles an hour, and then your typical downsloping winds off the east slopes of the Cascades, they're 30 to 40 miles an hour on Wednesday as well. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and share this video. And check out there in the bottom left, I will put a link to my lenticular cloud time lapse. So stay tuned. We got a lot more to talk about over the next couple days, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.